since the time the virtual classes have begun, I have been wondering how I'm going to do it. What about invigilation? What about the chances of malpractice? So I guess we are going to get answers of all these questions today from Ms. Sonia. So Ms. Sonia Vadva is an IT manager and HOD of ICT. She has 23 years of experience in teaching in diverse curriculum uh, from CBSE to ICSE and Cambridge. She is very passionate to empower educators to leverage technology and to make learning more personalized and meaningful for their learner. She researches on the EdTech tools which can be used to make classroom transaction more engaging and effective, and then train teachers to use the same. During these pressing times, she has also trained about 700 educators across India on various tools which can be used to make remote learning more effective. She is also on Microsoft Ask an MIEE expert portal, where through Skype she connects with educators from rural India and also helps them to make lessons which can be accessible on even simple phones with internet connections. She is a Nearpod certified educators, MIEE fellow, Microsoft trainer, Google certified educator, Flipgrid certified, and Vocalet ambassador. Wow, Miss Sonia, that's wonderful. And we welcome you again. The floor is yours. So you can begin with the session now.
Thank you so much, Shailaji, for that introduction. So I hope in the room everybody is waiting to learn the ways to assess students in an online scenario, and that is the utmost need we all are looking at. So I will start the demonstration without a further ado. So I'm just sharing my screen. Now, I think you all are now able to see my screen. If someone can confirm in the chat window, if you are able to see my screen.
Yes, Sonia ji, we can see.
Okay, so there are two kind of assessments that we are looking at. So one is formative assessment and second is summative assessment. So I am going to start with the tool exam.net, which is first for the summative assessment, because like considering the time limit in hand, I want to do exam.net in detail. So maybe if we get little less time for Google Forms, so next Saturday when we are doing Google Classroom, we can reinforce forms again. But I want to do very thoroughly with exam.net. So the URL for the portal is exam.net, and this is a free portal till December 2020. And the organization may likely to, increase the free offer considering the pressing times. But without any hassle till December 2020, 31st, this is free for all schools to use. Now, in the free version, there is no admin portal. I want to emphasize that. So it is that teachers can conduct the exam. I'll show you the process. But things like managing classes, allotting teachers to the classes, all those administration things like we do on Google Meet or we do on, Teams, those things are not possible. So they are offering a standard free version for everyone. This is something new which has come up with some pricing which they have recently added. So if you are interested in any paid thing, this can be explored, but free version is very good and most of the schools are doing comfortably with free version. Now, when you come to exam.net, this is the first screen that comes up. Here we have a student portal and we have a teacher portal. So as a student, it doesn't need any login information from the student. The student just need to have the exam key provided by his or her teacher to log in into the exam and be a part of the online exam. As a teacher, we have this portal where first time users have to sign in. Now here there is a word of caution that if you have organizational IDs provided by the school, for example, my school gives me an ID, Sonia_Vadva@sanskarvalley.org. So if you have those kind of domains created for your school, all teachers should come onto this portal using the school ID. There is a benefit to that, because when the portal artificial intelligence recognizes that these IDs belongs to an organization, it clubs all your peers on the portal together. So you can actually communicate with your peers on the portal. So as soon as anybody on the portal joins with @sanskarvalley.org domain, I am able to see how many colleagues of mine are on this portal, who is conducting what exam. So I have little information about, each other's activity as a school also. So I have already signed into this portal. Those who are signing new, you can, go to register instead of signing in. You register and then give your detail. For the first time, you have to just give an email ID and password. As I said that, when you go to register, it asks you a little more detail, like your country, and then your school, then your district. So when you're registering, it asks you a little more detail. So go step by step and register. Those who are doing side by side, you can register. But as I said, prefer to register with organization ID. The things will be easily manageable. Now, for example, you can see my school is already there. So I can select my school. And then this is my first name, my last name, my email ID. I have to select my password and confirm my password and accept terms and condition and register. So I'm not registering myself again. I'm already on this portal. The new users can register. So the first step is registering yourself on this portal as a teacher. Once you complete that, come back to sign in. So I'm going to sign in now, and I sign in with my school ID. So I go to sign in with Google. I select my organization ID. And then I'm signing in. As you can see up on my screen, it says so many colleagues of mine are here on this portal, because they all have joined using the Sanskar Valley domain, or they have given the Sanskar Valley school name. So the software has clubbed them all together. Now there is another advantage when you go to the portal using organization ID. Before the option of creating my exam, you get an option of creating a class. So at the bottom, when you come to this portal, please pay attention here. When you come to the portal through organization ID, at the bottom, you will find an option, create new class. So before creating an exam, please create a group. So creating a group here means you are creating a class. So if suppose you see here, I have created class 12th computer science. I have created class 11th computer science, class 10th Cambridge computer science, class 10th ICSC computer application. So these are the classes which I teach. So I have already created my classes over here, and I have created 1 or 2 demo classes for training purpose. So these are demo classes. So I am going to create a class. Now, what is the advantage of directly, instead of directly creating an exam, on the top, I was getting an option to create an exam. So I don't want to create an exam directly. I would rather prefer to create a class. Now, first, what happened? Once you create a class, and within the class, when you create exam, your exams are foldered. So your exams are getting foldered in the class for which you have created. So if the end of term, I have done 4 class tests with class 12, all my class tests will be reflected under class 12th computer science. So my exams are foldered. So that is the advantage of first creating a group. Let's say I'm creating a group here, class, let's say 11th Cambridge. So I'm creating a dummy class here. I don't teach this class, but I've created class 11 Cambridge. Then I select a color for easy identification. So let's say I give this particular color. So I have generally given different color to each of my class. So I am giving this class also a different color. The color relevance is only for differentiating class groups. Then click on create the group. So the moment I've created the group, the newly created group will come here on the top. So it has come here. Now the exam that you will create will be listed here. Now I go within my group and create the exam. So it is aptly clear that I am going to create this particular exam for grade 11 Cambridge. So I'm repeating the 2 steps that we have done so far. We went to exam.net. We have registered ourselves as teachers. After that, we have created a group. Group means our class. And now we are going to begin creation of a new exam. So the moment I click on create a new exam, this is the name of the exam. Let's say I'm using it for unit test. So I'm writing here unit test, the name of the exam as unit test 1, computer science. So I'm giving a proper title to my exam so that in the future I also know for what purpose this paper was created. Now in my school, so that the task of the teachers is less and they are more or less following the same way what they were using in the offline mode, we are using this option, use a PDF file. So it's how the exam question comes up. If it's just a Viva, if it is just a paper pen, or if it's just a listening skill or something like that, you write no digital exam question, choose this. It says the questions are given outside of the system. For example, orally on a piece of paper, means paper you have given some other mode, but you are using exam.net for submission. So children may submit their audio files of Viva, or children may upload the copies of their question paper which was handwritten and they received from teacher outside exam.net. So this is for that option. So this is more or less not relevant for our scenarios. We would go to this option, use a PDF file. So in my school, I told teachers, you have your last year's papers with you. They are designed in the school template with proper formatting. You change questions in that. You pick up a PDF file. So let me see if I have a PDF file on this system. So let's say I have this handout which I'm trying to upload and show you. This is not a paper. So this is uploading here, this question paper. So assume this is your question paper which is on your system. Depending on the size of the question paper, it will take some time. It says this may take 1 minute if your document. So this is not a paper as I said, but I randomly uploaded any other PDF which was available to me on this system. This is actually not my system, my son's system. My system got crashed. So I don't have a relevant question paper here, but I'm showing you, you can have your question paper and you can use a PDF file. So you can upload that as a question paper. I will come back to this another example of writing question paper directly in exam.net. So, or copy pasting it here from a Word file. But at present, I have uploaded a PDF file, which I'm assuming the teacher has already kept the paper ready, formatted in the template, marks along with the question. Everything is in the question paper itself. So this is, we are uploading a PDF. Now, when the students would submit this paper on exam.net, what information you would like to have from them? So my recommendation here is, do not ask phone number for any purpose, because this is sensitive student personal information. Whatever we ask here, everything is going to exam.net. That's what is mentioned in the terms and policies which we accepted while we were creating the ID on this portal. If you can just work with first name, class name, last name, class and email, this should be good enough. So these 4 fields are good enough. First name, last name. If you already have in record student's email ID, do not even ask for it, because you never know if the student's data is somewhere taken, then they may have their mailbox spam, with many advertisement offers and all. So try to minimize the kind of personal information you are asking the child to provide on this platform. Phone number, a big no. Email, if you have with you, then don't ask. If you do not have, please ask. Then another thing is, this is anonymized exam. If, for example, you can take this much pain that if you have 30 students, you click on anonymized exam, you put the number of students who will be taking this exam, then software will give you that many unique keys. So if suppose I have 120 students taking this exam, so student exam.net will give me 120 unique keys, and I assign a key to each child. So when they are before the exam, so when they are coming to this portal, they are entering their key, not their any personal information. And later on, I have to map, I gave this key to whom. So suppose I gave a key ABC123 to Richa. So when a copy is submitted with ABC123, it's like board exam, they give unique ID. So we are giving unique key to each child. And later on, we do mapping which key we gave to whom and it is whose result. So if you have that much time and manpower and resources to do that, do anonymized exam. Otherwise, first name, last name, class, and email ID. You take it from students. Why taking email ID is important? Because when I show you, once you have collected, the students have submitted the exam, then after checking the copies, you have to return them. How would you return them? If you are using Google Classroom and you upload all the copies over there, then each child will be able to see each other's copy. That we don't want. And if we upload, if you are using Teams, then one way is if you don't take email IDs, you can upload it in their class notebooks. So if you are using Teams with class notebooks, you go and in the class notebook, you upload the checked answer key, then you don't need the email ID. But if you do not have any of these kind of provision in your school, you need to mail back the child the corrected answer copy. And if the copy size is big, you can't actually share its PDF on the WhatsApp also. It also has a size limitation. So, but make sure that you do not share the copies in such a way that children have access to each other's copy. Because we need to maintain the self-esteem of the child. Children should not be able to see each other's copy and make mockery of each other. So we can't upload it anywhere and everywhere. We have to follow a system of one-to-one channel where the copies go straight to the child. So that's why if you have email ID, it really helps. Now, writing area. Irrespective of the fact that whether you are asking a child to type in exam.net or you are asking them to write in the copy, scan and upload answers in exam.net, writing area has to be on. Because for scanning also, they need some space in the exam.net. Writing area means exam.net will give some space to the children either for writing or for uploading the scanned answers. Now, this option of limit the number of words is only relevant when you are doing just a composition writing with the students or a descriptive. So it's not a full paper. It's just a little class test where you have given them one question. And like in Cambridge or IB, so you said, discuss the impact of this on this in 5,000 words. Or write a Pressy writing in, in so many words. So if you just have one single question with limitation of words, then you use this option, limit the number of words, and then students will be warned if they exceeds the number of word limit. But this word limit is for entire paper. It is not question by question, so that I can set, yes, question number 1 in 30 words, question number 2 in 60 words. That is not there. So it is for entire paper. So this will be of some meaning if you are just giving them one question with word limit, so you can always switch it on. Then spell check. If you want children to type and they should be able to do their spell checking, then say this is for yes, French, German, English, whatever language you want, otherwise no. Scan handwritten solution with a mobile phone. So it is a good idea to always keep it on, even if it is a typed paper. Reason being, some children, those who are attending classes on mobile, they may say that, ma'am, it is not comfortable to type with a small QWERTY keypad and I'm not able to type it fast and there is an exam time limit. So can I write my answers in a copy and scan and send it to you? So make sure you switch this option on, even if your school prefers that all children should type the answers. And also you would require it for subjects like mathematics, chemistry. Their children don't get, typing chemical formulas and equations. So it is a good idea to keep this option always on. So writing area has to be on. Scan handwritten answers with a mobile phone has to be on. So it means the children can do mix match of uploading of answer. They can type few answers, they can scan few answers, or they can completely type, or they can completely upload. So it gives us the flexibility to do anyways. Another one is accessibility tools. If you have children with special need in your school, you want to give them translation help, speech synthesis, English synonym help. So you can do this for the differently abled children. If you want to give them some additional document can be given to anyone. For example, if it's a maths paper and you want to give the log table, so select this additional document option, upload the log table here, and children will have access to the log table. For example, I have seen in some of the Cambridge papers, some pre-release material is given that can be uploaded here other than the question paper. So those are doable things. You can add additional documents from here. If it's a listening skills test, you can give the audio files from here. Be mindful of the formats. MP3 and WAV formats are acceptable. If you have your audio file in any other format, please convert it into these two format, any of these using this converter which is given over here, because it will not accept other than MP3 or WAV. At times, teachers want to give a lot of instructions prior to the exam, and she doesn't want to, call children that day on a meet. And she would say that the day we have exams going on, we are not meeting on Meet, we are meeting on exam.net, and all the instructions will be in my audio files. So she can also upload an audio file with her instruction from here. That is also possible, and one use of audio file. If you want to, give, this option is not relevant in our scenario. In some of the exams, the audio files are sent to the candidates with a USB stick or a CD drive. So do you want children to insert a USB stick? So this is not relevant for us. You can, if you want to add more audio files on your system, you can click on new audio files and you can add it from here. Activate audio files for all students. This has to be on if you are doing speaking skills or instructions through audio files. Subject tools, like if you want to give calculator, you switch this on. Maths teachers, if you want to give them GeoGebra to make different geometrical shapes, you give them GeoGebra. So these are basically for mathematics, biology and chemistry and geography. You may require diagrams, so you can give them drawing tools. So children can draw using mouse pointer. If they have touch screen, it's really a blessing. If they have pen, it's a blessing. But with mouse also, they can draw. So we can give them drawing tools. Calculator, if your board, the curriculum permits them to use calculator, like ICSE class 11, 12, Cambridge 10th can use calculator. So we can give them, otherwise it's your choice. GeoGebra also, maths teachers will be able to take a call, how much they can leverage the tool. If you want to give them, otherwise you can switch it off. Desmos is also a maths tool for constructing different shapes and graph. If you want to give them graph paper, you can use this. If you want to give them formula help, like IB board in Cambridge, they give them formula toolkit in the exam. They don't want kids to memorize the formula. So if you want to give them basic formula, advanced formulas, so you can give them the formula kits as a help, guide in the paper. If you want your children to write with proper syntax, type Python and JavaScript program, you can give them JavaScript and Python editor. Otherwise, what happens if you don't give them and children are writing less than sign, backslash sign, then while they are typing, the software shows error, these special symbols cannot be used or something like that. But if they type the programming codes, you're giving them programming editor, though they will not be able to compile and see errors, but they will be able to type with the special symbols and indentation which is used in the programming language. So these are the kind of resources which are available for different subjects. Then you have external resources. For example, if you want a child to watch a video and answer the paper, if you want a child to read a case study on BBC website and answer the question, if you want child to read a passage from an online source and answer the questions, then you can give the URL of the external website here. So let's say resource name. For example, I'm giving the resource name as weblink, and I have to paste the URL here. So just for your, convenience, I'm just writing, let me open a Wikipedia page on something and I will paste its YouTube link. So I'm saying Wikipedia bubble sort, let's say. So I want them to read about bubble sort on Wikipedia page, and then I want them to answer certain questions based on what they have read from there. So I'm going to copy this URL. I've tested this URL I want to give. Now I copy paste this URL here and add external resource. Right, so I can add as many external resources as I want, because I want children to read during the exam from this source and then answer the questions. So basically the portal is very much flexible. It is designed in keeping in mind the need of universities, Cambridge, IB board, Indian boards. So in the most of the foreign boards and all, they are there is a lot of dependency on the external resources, and there are a lot many synthesis based questions rather than direct question. So they want the child to go through the available data and write the synthesis. That's why this option is there. However, in our case, we would like to block the browser and not allow any child to surf any other site during the exam. So maybe it doesn't make a sense for us, so we can actually avoid it. Now coming to security mode at the bottom, if you know that all your children are using Chromebook, or if you are 100% sure that your clientele has laptops. Say in our school, we are not sure because we have done a survey. We know that 30% children are attending classes on mobile phones, 20% on tablets, 40% have their individual laptop, 40% share it with the siblings, and 10% children have desktop. So they have variety of operating system and they have variety of devices. So we can't actually restrict the examination to be run on Windows and Mac or something like that. If you have a surety that your clientele all is using laptops, either of Mac or of Windows, then the first option is very good. You tell all Windows user to download the SCB browser, and all Mac users to use SCB browser, and all Windows users to use TAT browser. And then you use this mode, then your exam will run on these two browsers only. And when the child is doing the exam, the window is locked. He cannot open any other window and do surfing. So then this is the best mode. But if you do not have any of this kind of information available with you, you go to the second option, allow any browser, but prefer high security mode. It means that the child can take the exam on any browser, but you can see when monitoring the exam if the student is using the high security mode. So we will be able to invigilate the child we can invigilate using the last option also. But the second option works well if all your children will turn on their cameras. So then even if they, try to look here and there, move here and there, you will be able to see their gestures and you will get report instantly. So if they all are using webcams, then this is also again a good option. Third one is they are not turning on their cameras. They are on multiple variety of devices. You can give them this option, but still in this option, select here, require an explanation and unlock immediately. Notify the teacher, but don't lock the student. So teacher should come to know, but the child should not be locked for the exam. First one is very useful. Second one, no one should use. Then otherwise children, you are not seeing them also. They are doing the exam and they will have no fear. उनको नहीं पता चल रहा है कि आपको notification आ रहा है. They should also know that you are getting the notification. So this option is better when they try to open any other window along with exam browser to Google. So they will get a notification. Why are you trying to move away from exam? Give explanation, and their system will be locked for some time. So they have to type the explanation. Once they type the explanation, click OK. Then in fraction of seconds, it will be unlocked and they will be able to resume the exam. And every time they do so, you get a notification. So you can give them warning. Why were you trying to move away? Next time, don't do it. And you can tell children that if during the exam, I get more than 4 notifications from your end, I will not consider your test. You will be disqualified. So because you may say that we can understand there can be genuine reason to go and pick up a pen or to go to washroom or to move away from the computer. So even if they move away from the system captures even if their webcam is not on. So even if they go away for some time, come back and they are not in front of camera for a fraction of 5-10 seconds, it is captured. So they have to give explanation and then resume. So if they are giving 4-time explanation, so you can tell that if I get more than 3 to 4 explanation notices, I will cancel your exam. So these kind of policies you can set up as a school. Then we are using this option, require explanation and wait 30 seconds. Because children at the end of the day should feel some time penalty also. So those who are at least good ones, they will be very serious. No, I have to sit in one place for 1 hour and give the exam. While they were doing it in the physical conditions also, they were sitting in the exam room for 1, 2, 2, 3 hours. Now, why can't they sit in one place and give a unit test of 1 hour? So we have to make them disciplined. So I give them this penalty, require explanation and wait 30 seconds so that once or twice they get 30-second penalty, they get restless. Ma'am, ye nahi chal raha hai, hamara time ja raha hai. And next time they'll be mindful because I did this happened, and they will then try to be more sincere and will not try to switch to other windows to cheat. So this is turn off cheat protection completely, then no warning, nothing, exam is going on its own. So the best option is the third one, but still the first one also works well if you don't want to give them time penalty and just be notified how many times they were unlocked and they gave explanation. So for the first, for demo purpose, I'm keeping the first one, and then it says create an exam. I'm going on top and repeating everything quickly. So I started from where I came here. I gave the name of the exam. So this is my exam name. I selected that my exam questions will be provided in a PDF. I selected what information I want from the students. Then I gave them writing area, no spell check. I gave them scan handwritten solution with a mobile phone. I selected the accessibility tools which I wanted to give them. If none, no problem. If I have to select an audio file, I would select an audio file and say activate audio file for all students. If I want to give them drawing tools for diagram and all, I will switch it on. If I want to give them mathematical formula, GeoGebra, this majorly is for maths teachers, 3 options. For computer teachers, programming option. If I want to give them external website link, this is here. And then I can click on security options. And then at the end, I would click on create the exam. So while you're creating, it may take 5 to 7 minutes setting up the other setting other than the uploading of the question paper. But be very mindful. I've realized that in my school, if a teacher forgets to click on writing area, exam has started and children are complaining, ma'am, there is no place to upload. It's because while creating the exam, the teacher forgot to give the exam area. So make a pointer, or I'll give you a handout. I will share it with the team. Jaya ma'am can then get it circulated. So there is a handout where I've given step-by-step process so that you remember screen by screen what options to tick on, and you can refer that handout. Now see, my exam is created. Now this is the unique exam key. It doesn't mean that once I have set up the exam, I have no way to go back to my exam and edit if I've forgotten anything. This is my pencil. I can edit my exam even when it is running, but I should not do that, because if my exam has started and I'm editing any setting, then I have to tell children to log in again so that they get updated settings. So that day when it happened with one of my teacher, I had to tell her to edit her exam. Exam had started, and after 15 minutes, children realized that because they were to upload, it was a Hindi test, and they had no space to upload because teacher did not open the writing area. So I had to tell that, teacher to stop for a while, then update her setting and tell children to rejoin, because if children will be continuously in that exam, they will not have a feel of updated settings. If they have to have the access of updated setting, they have to rejoin the exam. So it is better that we do everything before we give the exam key to the students. So, but as I said, आपने आज आधा paper बनाया, you want to continue with it tomorrow. So you can, do any settings after coming back using that pencil window. I come back to my exam list. I go to that exam. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Can I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am, you may move ahead.
Yeah, ma'am, just 1 second. I need to ask. Ma'am? Yeah,
Yes,
I
please.
just wanted to know that since even I am teaching in grade 9th and 10th computer science, so there is logic table structure they have been giving in IGCSE. So the thing is that when I am giving them the table, I just want to know whether the table, that whatever we are giving in the question paper, that exactly can be there downside in the writing area, because we cannot copy paste.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm showing to. I have shown you just the first option.
Okay.
Upload PDF. Now I will show you how you can type the paper there only, and the question paper gets copied to students' writing area.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just coming to that. Coming to that.
Okay. Thank you.
Now this paper is created on the day of exam. Very important thing is you have to have 2 things in mind. First is this exam key. This has to be copied and sent in an SMS or Google Classroom or on Teams, that with the instructions, students at this time go to exam.net. This is your exam key. Either copy paste or type, keeping in mind the case sensitive letter. If M is capital, M is capital. If Z is capital, capital, rest is small. So exam key is case sensitive. So preferably children should copy paste it. Otherwise they should type very carefully. It's just a 6-letter key, so not a big deal. They can do it this way. Another thing is, when you give exam key to the students, tell them that you might log in before and it may say that you are waiting in lobby because I will open the exam exactly at 9 o'clock. Maybe you have given the exam key at 8:45, but you have not opened the exam. The exam is closed. So when the children will join before with the exam key, it will say you are waiting in the lobby, your teacher will start the exam soon. So once you open it, then only the children will be able to enter the exam. So I'm going to show you a demo by creating another exam where I will type the question there only, because here I uploaded instead of a paper PDF, I uploaded a handout. So it's not actually a paper. I want you all to experience a 2-question paper, paper. So I'm going to quickly create a new paper. Before I do that, I just wanted to show you these 2 windows more. So as a teacher, once my exam has begun, my duty is to invigilate in this surveillance window. So I will give the exam key, I will open the exam, and I will click on this I sign, and I will sit here in my surveillance window. As soon as the students will start to join, so I will get their names here. In the top left panel, जो भी बच्चा join करता जाएगा, उनके नाम यहाँ आएंगे. And I would get to know how many have started the exam, how many have submitted, how many are still writing. Then if I want the timer to run on their screen, if I set a timer from here after starting the exam, let's say it's a 1-hour paper, I have to type here in minutes, I write 60. So this timer is not on my screen, it is on student screen. They are seeing 60-minute left, 59-minute left, 30-minute left. So when I set the timer, I am seeing it here, it is running 59, 49, but a clock will run on their screen how much time is left. Then if you would have selected the security option there, that children would be able to resume the exam if they were trying to cheat with a key given by the teacher. So I will give the keys from here, individual keys to resume the exam. If I would have done that setting there, so I did not do it in my setting over there. That's why I'm not getting the key here. If I would have done that setting, resume the exam with the exam key. So if the child was trying to cheat and I have the key to be given to him to resume the exam, then I would get those keys from here. I can copy paste it in the child's WhatsApp, or I can give him through an SMS so that he can resume the exam. If I was using anonymized identities, I will get my unique IDs from here to be distributed to the students. Now, once the paper is done, I can either print the answer keys, or I can download them as Word file. I can download them as PDF file. I can shift them to my Google Drive and check it from there. I can shift them to my OneDrive. This is paid option, URKUND analysis. If some schools have taken subscription for this software does, if you have taken 5 tests, this does child's performance analysis. How many tests the child has taken, what is his performance, how is faring on subjective questions, how is he faring on objective questions. Monthly, a teacher has conducted how many tests. So this analysis would be done by the software if you have paid subscription. So it says that you need to have your KUND license. If your school doesn't have, you can't do anything about it here. So this is a paid option. Show exam log. It shows exam log means if I want to print the attendance and everything, then my exam log will come. I can print from here exam log. I can download the attendance list, how many started the exam at what time, finished at what time. So I am now going to give you a feel of exam, and then I will show you these options working. Abhi, these are disabled because we are just seeing it. You have not started the exam. So I'm going to create one quick exam of 2 questions. I'm going to give you that exam key. You all experience as students how it will happen. I would recommend that some of you try by writing in a piece of paper and try to scan and upload. Now, how would you scan and upload? आपके phone में एक QR code scanner होना चाहिए, which is by default there in most of the Android phone. नहीं तो Google Lens होता है. If not so, Play Store से हम QR code scanner download कर सकते हैं. Like in our school, what we have done, Adobe is giving free scanner, Adobe Scan, to all the schools. You have to write it to them. So I can give the email ID where you can write it to them. So once you get Adobe Scanner free with the Adobe IDs, which they will give, and you distribute it to all your school and staff, then what happens? They all get 2 GB cloud space free with that scanner. So when the children are scanning the pictures are not taking space on their phone. The images are getting saved on cloud. and they are sharing it with you. The same way, when you are receiving the copies, you have that cloud space available with you. You can save all the copies there. You can check return, and then you can delete and make your cloud space again free to use. So that is how we have done that. We have recommended that all of you should download Adobe Scanner in your devices. But there's no harm. Now, since Chinese apps are banned, otherwise Cam Scanner was also a good option. But just to experience it now, you can have, Google Lens or QR code scanner in your phone. Some of you can type the answer in exam.net, it's okay. But just to have a feel, if one or two, like a student, want to write in copy, scan and upload on exam.net and want to see how the teachers will see it, I will show you then from my screen. So I'm just going to, again, this dummy class, new exam, and then I am going to use this option. So I'm writing here demo test for teachers, let's say. And now I'm selecting this option, write exam questions. So I'm not uploading the paper, I'm writing the exam questions here. And I'm giving first the instructions, answer all questions. And then whatever instruction you want, duration, marks, you can write everything. My question number 1. So I'm just writing 2 questions here. What is the difference between, so just 2 general questions so that you all can answer. Difference between a summative and a formative test. And a formative test. And I'm just giving second question, question number 2. So ma'am, you were asking about Google tables and all. So I have to, there is an option. So suppose you crop the image of your table and then you keep that image ready and you insert that, have a look at the logic table and flowchart and complete the trace table given below. Or you are saying study the logic table and make the logic circuit diagram. So you can crop your image from the past papers or textbook and you drop your image here and frame your question here. And then you can write, maybe I'm writing my second question here. Draw me. Do you have any worries about conducting online exams? If yes, what is that? So just 2 generic questions so that you can make an attempt. So I suppose this is my question paper. Once I have done that, I can do proper formatting. I have these formatting options on the top. In the interest of time, I'm just increasing the font size and making it little bold. Now at the bottom, I have this option, present the questions to the students. And another option is fill students' answer area with the question once the exam has started. So as ma'am rightly said that in most of the Cambridge schools, the children have to answer in the question paper itself. And the question should be given to the child in the answer copy. So you can use the second option, present student answer with the questions when exam has started. And if you just want to present the questions and they are writing on a separate medium, then use the first option, present the questions to the student. So let's say I'm using the second option, fill the student answer area with the questions. And I say, okay. Now I am using your first name, class name, not your class. I'm just taking teacher's name, right? So I leave, okay, or just say I am leaving first name, last name. I'm just taking teacher's name because I'll just get your name. Let's do it other way around. First name, last name, and no other information. Then I am giving you writing area. I'm giving you scan handwritten solution. And then I'm in the security mode. I am going to this one, allow any browser, require an explanation, but unlock immediately. And then I say create the exam. So I've created the exam. Now in the chat window of our Google Meet, I am going to give you the exam key. So this is my exam key. I'm copy pasting it. So I'm copying it. I'm opening the exam also so that you all can join me in the exam. And then I'm copying it and I'm pasting it in the Meet window, chat window. You can access it from there. So you go to exam.net, but instead of teacher, you go to student view and put this exam key. 4 T capital, 7 E, then capital E and L. Better to copy paste. Those who are on phone, go to Chrome and type exam.net, and then you can have on exam.net, you can type the key which I have provided you for student view. Now I go as a teacher and sit on the surveillance window and see what are you all doing. So I can see 5 teachers have already joined. Amit ji has joined, Archana ma'am joined, Rainy ma'am joined, Smita joined. So Rainy must be trying to listen to me and come back to Google window. So she got logged out because she tried to change her window. Now she has to give an explanation. Archana has to give an explanation and come back. See, the day you have exam, do not call the students on Google.meet or forget that you are a teacher and stop giving instructions. Because what happens, like I am giving you instruction, you will have this tendency to come back to Google Meet and listen to me. So the moment you shift from exam.net window and come back to Google Meet window, it will be a window change registered by the software and you all will be logged out of the exam. So I know 18 has started the exam and 18 are doing the exam. So out of 120 people, only 18 good students are taking the exams. Others are scared. Oh, I know one person has submitted the exam also. That's Mr. Amit. So if you are able to see my screen, now you see the invigilator view. I have somebody asking a question also. So here on exam.net also, I have a window to chat with my students. So for example, I am writing to Mr. I'm selecting the name of Mr. Dilio. It seems that he has some problem. He logged out. Or let me write to Praveena ma'am. So I'm writing, hope paper is easy. Any doubt? So I can, chat with my students using this portal. Also, I need not to be on any other virtual meeting platform while the exam is going on. Praveena ma'am, did you get my message? Ma'am, have you received my message? I have texted you on exam.net only. Rainy ma'am is asking how to take a photo from mobile and submit on laptop. So ma'am, you try this. That's what I had told you, that in your student view, on the left hand side, there is an option scan the answers. So when you click on scan answer, it will give you a QR code. You scan that QR code with your mobile phone. In your mobile phone, either use Google Lens, Office Lens, or any proper QR code scanner. Then your phone will be synced with exam.net. And the pictures that you would click through mobile phone, they will be starting to upload in the exam.net. Khushbu ma'am is writing, it's not opening properly. So ma'am, what is not opening, the scanner, or where do you have difficulty? So 11 of you have submitted the exam. I can see 31 started, 20 are still doing the exam. So I know who all have submitted because I can see a tick in front of their names at the bottom. So if you are seeing my screen, at the bottom, the 12 students, those who have this green sign ahead in front of their name, 13 now, they have submitted the exam. So where I have to write the answer, that part. So you must have got some typing space in your paper, and in between the questions you have to write down. So if you see, there is a battery icon here. So it says this is due to network issues. The child has no network connection. So if someone is on mobile hotspot and a call comes and they get disconnected, or their laptops get shut down because of battery, so you will get this kind of sign, orange sign, which I am showing you on my screen. Nishita has no connection presently. Purva has been logged out. Priyanka has been logged out. Now, if you all can quickly take 2 more minutes and finish it, then I will show you how my window looks like. Okay, so since we have got some good number, those who have submitted, I would request you all to come back to the...
Ma'am, I'm not getting the question papers. From where I'll submit? I'm not getting the question papers actually in my screen.
Ma'am, you are on phone? Are you on phone, ma'am? Manju ma'am, are you on phone? Which device are you using, ma'am? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, so then I'll move ahead. Maybe some problem with ma'am's device. Now, please see that. See my screen here. So I want to tell you some logistics if you are conducting as teachers. So see, I am getting a feedback here. 32 started the exam. 19 submitted the exam. 13 are still ongoing. Now, please keep your mics in mute. Now, please see here, once 5 minutes before the exam, you make announcement to the students, or they are having as it is timer set. So you can send a chat message to all of them last 5 minutes. And then once you don't want children to further submit, you can click on force submission for students. So the moment I click on force submission, those of you who are left to submit, 15 of you will not be able to submit. So if I click on force submission for students, the exam will be automatically closed, and whatever stage the children had copies, Aadha type, Pura type, that in that form only the copies will be submitted and it will come back to me. A force submission should be done when you are taking the exam in a way that everybody is typing in the software. Now imagine you were telling the children that you have to write the answer in the copy, scan and upload. अब बच्चे ने पूरा पेपर तो कर लिया लेकिन अपलोड नहीं कर पाया. ही वांटेड 5 मिनट्स मोर, लेकिन आपने फोर्स सबमिशन कर दिया तो बच्चे की ब्लैंक कॉपी आपके पास आई है बिकॉज ही और शी कुड नॉट अपलोड एनी सिंगल पेज. So that is the problem. So before you do force submission, do announce 2 to 3 times, 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before, and then if you see 3 children were still left, give them a message on their personal window. Please mail the copy to me now as you could not upload. So give them little space of 5-10 minutes. There may be some little more time required by the students to scan if their net speed is slow. Now I'm clicking on force submission now. So those of you who are left will not be able to upload now. It says except individual students, 0 students, some students, those who are left, they will be now left if I am clicking on proceed. So I've clicked on proceed. It says submitted. So it will take everybody's copy forcefully. So now you see here, everyone's copy has come forcefully. A child with one name can submit only 1 copy. If they will try it again, they have to change the name. So this is also happening in our school. So if suppose a child submits and later on he realizes there are 15 minutes left, let me retry it and correct some answers. So then you make it very clear, the first copy that you receive from a child, only that will be accepted. Now what trick they are playing, if suppose first time they have written Sonia Vadva, second time when they are taking the exam, they are writing Sonia Kumari Vadva, so that the software allows them to come back to the exam again. So be very mindful and give these instructions that if you submit multiple copies with little change in your name spelling or something like that, only the first copy accepted from you will be checked. Now the next thing is, Now you see my dashboard as a teacher. I have seen that 37 started the exam, 36 4 submitted, 1 ongoing because that child has lost the connection, internet connection or something like that. Now, if I don't click on any child's name this side and I select on download PDF, what the software will do, please see, it will download all answer copies in one PDF, which is of no use for me. What would I do? See, checking ke liye to it is very easy. I am getting all students' copy in one copy. So this is Amit sir's answer. This is Archana ma'am's answer. All copy in one PDF, all 38 copies in one PDF. So for checking, it is easy. I'm using Edge browser and I have a draw pen here. So I can go to draw pen. I can click here and then I can put a tick. So it is easy for me to check the copies using Edge browser with this draw option and in one PDF. Lekin, how would I return? I want to return them individually. So I don't want all copies to come in one PDF. So how would I do actually? I will select, let's say first Amit sir's name. I will select the name of my student. Then I will click on download PDF. So if you do so, select the name first and then download PDF, then it will come child-wise. See here, it is coming now child-wise. It is only 2-pager copy and that is of Amit sir, nobody else. So I can actually then check this copy. So if you are using a browser, I can give you a free link of a Adobe free tool. आप वो Adobe Acrobat DC software, not Adobe Acrobat Pro, Adobe Acrobat DC, जो old version है Adobe का, you can download. I can share the link in the chat window and along with the video how to use that. So if you download that software, you can check the PDFs easily. There are ready-made tick sign, cross sign, circle sign available. Even you can save your signature and insert it wherever required. Once you have checked the copy, click on save. So let's say this is, I am writing, let's say on my system, I have made a folder, unit test copies. So there I have to put, now Amit sir ki rest of the information, let it be there, but I will just put for myself checked copy. And then I will click on save. So this is his checked copy. I have checked it and it is saved. Now I have to return these copies to the students. So whatever way I use as a school, mail or Google Classroom or class notebook, I can return and upload the checked copy over there. So word of caution is, बच्चे का नाम select करने के बाद please click on download Word or download PDF. If you keep your cursor outside any name and click on download PDF, download Word, then everybody's copy will be downloaded in the single document. Now, if you download using Microsoft Word, आप लोगों को लगता है कि Word में correction करना ज़्यादा easy है because you can have, so if you see my screen, in Microsoft Word, I have a draw menu on top, which you may not have. ये वाला, this draw option, this gives me a, pointer to check. Draw menu की facility, only those people have, those who have signed in with their education IDs. So if your school has Office 365 IDs, so draw menu and you sign in into Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint using your Office 365 account. So if I show you this account, so this is like my son's account which is being given from school. And if they have signed in using that, they have permission for education version of Office and we as teachers also have. So we in that case get this draw menu attached in our Word. Same way in PowerPoint, we get some additional features in Excel also, which is for educational kit. So if you have Office 365 IDs deployed in your school, you get this option. You can easily check copies in Word. The advantage of Word is that you can, type the feedback also. For example, if I want to type something here, so I can insert a text box and I can type it here and I can write whatever I want to write, teacher's feedback, and then I can send it back to the student. And it also gives me an option कि मुझे अगर इस फाइल को PDF बना के बच्चे को वापस करना है, not a Word file, I have this option save as PDF in 2016 version. So I save it as PDF and I save it. It is not a huge investment that for setting up Office 365 IDs, school needs money. You just have to write to Microsoft. Office 365 IDs are free for schools. You have to write it to them and they will deploy it for your school. At the max, you need to share the student's name, class-wise, teacher's name, and they will deploy it for all. So Office 365 deployment is free for school. If you get it done, then you will have access to Microsoft Forms for assessment, Teams for online version free, and also the MS Office online apps free, where you will get some additional commands which are meant for the educational version. So this is about correction of the copies that you can get it done on exam.net. Now here I was trying to show you that if suppose instead of downloading all the files to my computer, if I click on Google Drive, so then definitely it will take some space. Instead of downloading to uploading, I have to sign in with my Google account. So suppose I sign in with my school account, so all the copies would go to my school Google Drive. If I have my personal, then it would go to my personal Google Drive. Same way, if I have space on OneDrive, I can shift all the copies on OneDrive, open them in Edge browser, check it over there. But then how to save a copy which is, share the copy with the child which is saved on the drive. फिर आपको check करने के बाद you have to generate the share link of the copy and share it with the children, which may be difficult for non-IT teachers. So advisable is download child-wise PDF, correct it. I'll give you a PDF correction tool and then send it back to the students. I take a pause here and you are free to ask questions if there are any in your mind further how to conduct the exam.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
This is Ram here.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, is there a camera tracking option in this exam.net where I can?
Sir, basically, as I said that if your clientele is entirely on laptop and you use high security mode, we were doing security options, and you tell them to download TAT browser for Windows and Sys browser for which the name of two browsers which is given over there, and then you set the high security mode and tell the students to download those two browsers according to the device before the exam. Then definitely captures some sort of gesture.
Okay. So once the student actually enters the exam, the question paper, if I start writing the question paper, the browsing capacity will be stopped, right?
Yes.
The child will not be able to.
No,
it will be locked. The only way he has to do is only submit the exam and then go, right?
Yes, yes.
That's the only thing. Yeah, ma'am. Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am. That's the question.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Thank you so much for such an informative session. Now I have used this particular website. Only thing is that it is not mobile friendly. I have used with my kids. They were not able to solve on mobile. They needed desktop or laptop for this. So that
Yes,
was.
ma'am, I am absolutely with you. So what we are doing in our school, every class, 1 or 2 children, they are on mobile. So
Yes.
It's not about small screen. They log in also in the exam using the mobile phone. So they go to Google Chrome, they go to exam.net and they are able to log in. Now, if the paper is such that they have to type in the exam window only, so it is very difficult to type the answers using mobile. That is one hassle. Second, even if you are allowing them that you write in the copy and send us upload the scanned pages, then the problem is they can't zoom the question paper from exam.net. So what we have done as a school, the class teacher has the account of these 1 or 2 students, those who by no means have laptop at home, and they would by any means will take the exam on a smartphone only. So when the exam begins, the teacher is giving them the PDF of the question paper on their personal WhatsApp window. So when other children start on exam.net, these students get the PDF of the question paper on WhatsApp. The advantage is that on WhatsApp, they can zoom in. Now they are signing into exam.net and their attendance is registered. They have the question paper to zoom on their WhatsApp. Once they have made the scan the entire copy, they upload it in one of the answer and mentions the remark, all my answers are in this PDF.
Okay, so that means if I want to give a passage and then corresponding answers below that, then they will find difficult, right?
Definitely. Those who are on phone, it will be difficult for them.
Sonia, there is a question by a Hindi teacher.
Yeah.
How they can create a paper in Hindi?
Yes, ma'am. You can type in Unicode in Microsoft Word and copy paste here. Or you can, if you are uploading a PDF, you upload it in any language, not a barrier.
Ma'am, I would like you to repeat your answer in Hindi, please.
Yeah. So if suppose say how Hindi will work, the students
Please
they need
repeat.
to.
Ma'am,
I'm
please
saying,
repeat.
yeah,
Please.
I'm saying, ma'am, अगर आपके बच्चों के पास कोई यूनिकोड टाइपिंग करना आता है and they know how to type Hindi, then only it is successful. Anyone can type in Unicode in the browser. बट अगर उनको जैसे टीचर्स को भी क्वेश्चन पेपर बनाना है तो आप वर्ड में जाके यूनिकोड में टाइप कीजिए और कॉपी पेस्ट करके exam.net में वो क्वेश्चंस आप ला सकते हैं. बट बच्चों के पास अगर यूनिकोड में या हिंदी टाइपिंग आती है तभी उसका कोई मतलब है. अदरवाइज हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, क्वेश्चन पेपर तो उनको हिंदी में दे रहे हैं exam.net में, हम उनको बोल रहे हैं आप अपनी कॉपी में लिखिए और कॉपी के आंसर पेजेस फोन से स्कैन करके अपलोड कर दीजिए. सो बच्चे आंसर हिंदी में टाइप नहीं कर रहे हैं, बच्चे आंसर कॉपी में लिखकर वो कॉपी के पेजेस को स्कैन करके अपलोड कर रहे हैं और टीचर्स पेपर बना रहे हैं हिंदी में यूनिकोड में टाइपिंग करके.
Ma'am, I have one question here.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, once the student logs in through the mobile in the exam.net, will he be able to navigate the pages?
Sir, he will be able to navigate, but there is no zoom option. So, for
Yeah, ma'am.
example, screen is very slow. He's small. He's seeing the questions. But like if you get otherwise a PDF, you can zoom in, zoom out. But
True,
that
true.
feature is not there in exam.net window on mobile. So
Okay.
what I have suggested my teachers, you give them PDF on WhatsApp. They
Okay.
will be able to zoom out, at least do the exam. Now, as ma'am was talking about Cambridge, that children should write it over there. So
Yes, ma'am.
our clientele of Cambridge, they have printers at home. So
Okay.
when you give them paper 5 minutes before, they print it out at using their own printers. They
Okay.
do the paper, they write the answers below the questions in the paper itself. They scan the entire copy and mail it back to the teacher.
Okay. And one more thing is that once the child opens the exam.net on the mobile, will he be able to minimize that and go to a browser again? No, right?
Sir, he will be if you are using low security mode.
Okay, okay. So we as teachers we have to opt for the high security mode, right?
If you know that your clientele has Windows and Mac operating system, all have laptop, nothing better works than other than high security mode.
Okay, okay. So in the mobile, if I log in through exam.net and look at my paper, I will still be able to minimize that window and go to another window.
But he will be logged out of the exam. He has to give explanation why did he leave that window.
Yeah. Yes, sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, I
Good
have a
morning, ma'am.
question.
I have a
Yes,
question.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am, and ask.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead and ask.
Ma'am, I'm just asking that while scanning the solution, there is a possibility that he might be logged out of the exam because he might use the mobile. If the child is having only not having two devices.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So he will be logged out. He can give the reason that I came out of the window to scan my answers.
So again, it will be okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, is there any option of auto checking, especially for MCQ?
So, ma'am, for that, we have to do Google Forms. If we are through with this, I can spend 10 minutes on Google Forms and I can show you for auto checking also.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
question auto checking will be done through Google Forms.
I see. Okay. That
Hello,
will be
ma'am.
nice if you can show.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
With respect to this question only, I just wanted to put up a query. While setting an MCQ exam,
Mm-hmm.
do we have to follow the same procedure or do we need to take any other precautionary measures?
Ma'am, this platform is for your summative exam. This will not autocorrect. You have to download
Okay,
the
okay.
copies and check. So for
Okay.
that, either you use Microsoft Forms or you use Google Forms for conducting formative assessments. So Creative and Hot Potatoes, there are 4 or 5 portals which schools are using, but
Okay.
Forms are the easiest one to use. So I will give a quick demo of Google Form.
Kindly, please, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Ma'am, Manjeet here. I have one doubt. Ma'am,
Yes.
as you showed us a sample how to download answer key, you clicked on the word Amit, and then do you get a pop-up over there, download PDF? How it is?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. See here, I selected Amit sir's copy. Now I
Yes.
have the option download Word or download PDF.
Okay.
So as soon as I click, it starts to download at the bottom on my computer. once it is constructing. So I would see it here once it has been downloaded. So if I show you, just a minute. So if I go to download folder, so I have downloaded this Amit sir's copy twice. It is coming here. Archana ma'am's copies I have downloaded in Word. It has come over here. Once I did not select any child's name, I clicked on all. So demo teachers, so with the exam name, all the copies came here. So you will find all downloaded copies in your download folder.
And I can do correction in that PDF file also.
Yeah, that's what I am
Fine,
just
fine.
trying to see. I have, if I can give you directly. So I made a tutorial for corrections because other teachers were facing problem. So I'll just quickly paste the link of YouTube link of that tutorial in the chat window. So you can actually have a look at that video. And this is the procedure and the YouTube link. I'm pasting it in chat window. So this is a free tool by Adobe. An obsolete tool, old, but for very useful for teachers. That's why they are giving this free. I have pasted the link here in the chat window. So this is the link to download the software, and another is the link, YouTube link, where we have explained how to use this tool. So
Okay,
this
thank you, ma'am.
I've given you in the chat window.
There are two more questions. One
Yes.
is, can the children take a picture of their handwritten work and upload? And second is, can the teacher prepare question paper on the phone?
Ma'am, as far as preparing question paper on the phone is concerned, yes, you have to type. Like, it'll be difficult for you. It's better than you write a neat handwritten paper and take a photo and upload the PDF. That will be much more easier for teachers, those who are on phone, rather than typing, because again, phone screen will be small, and if you are typing 10 questions, it will take away your 1 hour time to properly type them. If you're comfortable, nothing like that. Another thing is, yes, students can, write and scan and upload the answer. Like in my school, history department, English department, many departments, they don't want children to type because they want to give them board practice. They are very firm that they should write in the copy, scan and upload. So we are using this portal only. All the students are writing in their CAS chronicles, their assessment chronicles. We have given them separate copies for exam, and taking pictures and uploading.
Ma'am,
hello. Yes, yes, sir.
Namaste, I'm Dilipia, ma'am. Ma'am, during our exam, I tried to write down in my notebook, and I opened exam.net in my mobile, but it was getting locked again and again as soon as I was starting to write.
Sir, that's what I said. In the phone, it will be a problem because you have one device. Exam.net works very well when you have laptop to type and you have mobile to scan. If you are with one device, it will definitely create a problem. You will be logged out again and again.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So moving on for objectives, we have this portal called Forms. So I am just closing everything and other windows and showing you from the beginning. So I have this portal here, and you have to type forms.google.com. So write forms.google.com. And then you come back to this platform once you open. If on your system your Google ID is not signed in, please sign in first. Like here, my son's ID is signed in, so I am coming on his screen actually. Now here you have something called template gallery. So if you want to start from a template, go and pick up an assessment template from the bottom, from the education templates. So you have this template, normal worksheet, which doesn't carry any marks, assessment template, or you want to take a blank quiz. So if you want certain pointers, आप पहली बार बना रहे हैं, then you can start from templates also. So I'm going to show you quickly, first from a template and then from a blank quiz. So if you go to assessment template, let's say I change it as unit test 1 computers, and then I'm putting my instructions here. Students, there are 20 questions, 20 MCQs, 20 questions to be answered in 30 minutes. So I have actually set it up like this. Now, these are some suggestive fields that name should be mandatory, email should be mandatory. So you have given these options here. Now quiz questions. If you feel you don't need email, so you can delete this question any day by using this point sign delete. Now this particular question doesn't require an answer key. It doesn't require anything like that, and there is no correct answer, no point. So I have not taken any point. Come back to now quiz questions. So quiz questions, यहाँ पर नाम और email ID है. At the bottom there is another section, quiz questions. So here you can put instructions. For example, I am writing here question number 1 to 5 is any sort of instruction that you want to give. So I'm saying question 1 to 5 is MCQ. Select a suitable answer. A suitable answer. And then I'm writing for questions 6 to 10, give one word answer. Give one word answer. So whatever way you want to set it up. And if you have small up to 330 words, up to 500 words, those can also be checked through this. But then correction has to be done manually for that. If you want 100% corrections, just give one words, MCQs, multi-correct questions like that. Now here, what is your first question? So let's say my first question is find the odd one out. So I'm just showing you a sample paper. And here I'm giving the name of 4 hardware, let's say. So I'm giving here printer, and this is the place for correct answer. So I will write the correct answer there, and then say, let's say I'm writing mouse, I'm writing here scanner, and then I'm writing Windows 10 here. So this is my odd one out. So I've written the odd one out in front of the correct answer option. Now this question by default is coming as 1 point, answer key and point. So if I answer key I have given, this is my answer key, right? If you want feedback for incorrect answer, the children, those who get this question, you want to give them some explanation, you can type it. So the correct answer is, I'm writing here scanner, Windows 10, because, so I'm then writing because it is the only software among all hardware. So I can type my explanation here. And if you feel the children should watch a video for concept clarity, you can attach a video resource here. You can attach a web link here for child to see those who have messed up with this question. Correct answer is written, I can, for incorrect answer, this is the feedback. For correct answer, I can write awesome, you got it right. So if I want to give these kind of remarks, so then I can click on save. So the child will be able to see feedback for correct answer, feedback for incorrect answer. If you don't want to get into the hassle of all this, simply the score, don't set these settings, it's okay. Then this is done. First one question is done. I come back to my second question. So let's say tick. Now it is showing me that second question because I've used a template. So it is giving me a format. First question was multiple choice. Second question was check boxes, multi-correct. If I still want my second question to be again a drop down or multi-choice, I can always change it. This is just a suggestive template. But let's say I want to continue with it. So I'm writing tick all that what is correct in relevance to computer hardware. Just 1 minute. So I can actually write my question, and then these are my options. So if it is multi-correct, wherever it's correct, I will write correct thing. Where it is not correct, I will write incorrect things. So I'm writing we cannot touch it. So you can just type your answer options. I have given 1 or 2, 3 correct things and 2 incorrect things. If I want to add more option, I can click on more option. Now every correct point, do I want to give 1 point or 3 points? So suppose there are 3 correct options. I want to give this question 3 points. So I can increase my points and I can say done. Feedback for incorrect answer. If I want to change, it's okay. Otherwise, this is default feedback which is coming. I can say done. This way I can keep building my question paper. Now it is saying that your third question, so it can be a short answer type question. So I can say that define, or I can say that name one input device. This is a question where many answers are acceptable, right? So name one input device if I have written. Now I go to answer key. So it says that mark all answers as incorrect or add a correct answer. So suppose I am writing a correct answer as mouse, then the child may type in small. So I have to write this, because this is a disadvantage with the Google Forms. This is not case sensitive. If this would have been Microsoft Forms, the checking is case sensitive. I'm not sure we have given them this feedback that this problem is corrected or not. So in that sense, we have to write title case, small case, all are correct answer. So we have to, I will then write all possible key answers, because it doesn't do case specific checking. It means case, ignoring the case. So I can write here. So that way I've written my answers, and then I say done. So I'm just showing you 3 questions and have a feel of how it works. Up at the bottom, let's say this is one question where the child has to read the paragraph, and based on the above text, you answer your question. So this we are not doing. I'm selecting this and I'm deleting it. If you have such a need, you can do that. And this 4th question also I'm removing. Up now, what are the variety of questions that I want to show you? You can add here. If I now go to plus sign, so this is the plus sign to add questions. So if I go to plus sign to add a question here, so let's say I go at the bottom and I click on a plus sign. Now this is asking what type of question you want to take. Here are my question options: short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop down. If I want the child to draw a diagram and upload, file upload. Multiple choice, grid, linear scale, they are hardly any use for us. They are for corporate, some feedback. So this will not, Cambridge may at times they give you multiple choice grid, that you can explore this option. If in history you are asking date about something, you can have this date type of question. Otherwise for us, for objective, these 3 are relevant. Short answer means 1 word, multiple choice, check boxes, drop down. So this is these are the questions that you can explore. Now once you have done the question, for example, I am taking a question which I want to check manually. Rest of the questions software should check. This one question I want to check manually. So I'm changing the question type as short answer. So I'm writing here define hardware. I want this question to be checked myself. Answer key, I have removed answer key. So I'm not giving the answer key and I'm writing 2 points, right? But I want to check it myself. So then I'm saying done. It says list all correct answers. So I don't want to, mark all answer as incorrect. This I don't want to, do. So I want to add a feedback here. This question mark will be reviewed by the teacher. This question will be reviewed by the teacher. So I'm writing here by the teacher, and then the marks will be updated. So suppose you had a paper which is entirely software driven. The software will check the entire paper, but this question you are not giving the answer. You want yourself to check. So I have done mark all answers as incorrect, and I have given here the feedback. This question will be reviewed by the teacher and then marks will be updated. So I can say it as done. So this setting I have done for this question, which the software, I don't want software to check. This was extra, I'm removing it. Now see, I have 4 questions in this paper. First is objective type, second is multi-choice, and third one is one-word answer, name a device. Fourth one is define hardware, short type answer. Now once my question paper is ready, this is a total 6-point paper, so the total score has come automatically. Now I go to this settings. Here in the setting it says collect email addresses. Since you already have an email field, you don't need to click on this option. अगर आपने एक अपना form बनाया होता without using template, and if you click this collect email addresses, so before the child start the exam, the software will, ask the child to give the email ID. Do you want a copy of their answer script to go to their mail? Then tick this. If respondent requested, then only. So when the child submits it, एक option आता है, do you want a copy of your responses? अगर बच्चा उसको yes करेगा, तो जो email ID उसने specify किया है, on that email ID, his copy of answers will go. If you want to keep it a default setting always, you can do it. If you don't want to, then let it be like this. If respondent requested. Require sign in, yes. Limit to 1 response, yes, very important. The child should be able to attempt it only once through his ID. Edit after submit, no. We should not give them this option to edit after submit. See summary chart and text responses, yes, we want to do that. This is for respondent, for not for us. क्या बच्चे को देखना चाहिए दूसरों की summary, तो आप you should avoid it if you don't want child to see the summary chart. If you want, then yes. Now presentation. Show progress bar, shuffle questions order. Show progress bar means how many questions he has attempted, how much is left. Shuffle question order, the questions should be different for all students. So then you can say the order of questions, shuffle question order. But please ensure, do not put name and class and email ID in the same section where you are putting the questions. So like in this template, the questions started below name and email ID. Otherwise, if you don't do that, they will also be shuffled like question. So maybe after doing 5 questions, the child is getting the option to put the name. Now, the next thing is, ma'am.
There is one question by 2 people. If we want picture-based questions, how can we prepare it on Google Form?
Yeah, I'm just showing that, ma'am. Now, the last option is quizzes. So it says release marks. So what technique we are following in our school, we are doing it this later after manual review. Now what happens? No matter how perfect marking scheme you make, for example, I conduct a computer test where in my marking scheme, I wrote the correct answer was record. Now if the teacher is writing, ma'am, the correct answer is records or records, or the correct answer is records. अब उस बच्चे ने answer में correct answer word भी आगे जोड़ दिया. He should get full credit. But it was a 1-word question. He is adding some words from his own side other than the correct answer. I don't know those answers and I can't fill those answers in the marking scheme. So always select this later after manual review. So in that case, you can review the software checking if you feel software did, because software is garbage in, garbage out. Whatever answers you will write in correct answer, he will give rest all incorrect. And at times, the child has written very big spelling correct, just one I को E हो गया and you want कि इसको mark मिलना चाहिए. So you keep this option later after manual review. So you don't, as soon as the child click on submit button, he should not get his score. Click on later after manual review. So you review it and you share the score after with the students. Now respondent students can see missed questions, correct answer, point value. If you want to allow them to see these things, do it. Otherwise, missed question, yes. Correct answers, yes, no problem. Point values, you leave it. And then it's up to you. If you don't want to show even correct answer, leave it. Share them their copies after reviewing so that nobody is disappointed. This answer was correct and software gave it wrong. So these are the settings. Once you have done the setting, this is theme. You can change the theme. This is for decoration purpose only. Now the middle option is for preview. So this is how your question paper would look for a student and he can do. So I'm quickly doing it for you. So for example, here, if I fill an email ID, then if I fill my name here, and then if suppose I put my email address again, so this is like asking double, it should not happen. Then I am asking find the odd one out. So let's say this is now, see, I had put in it at the second place, but it has been jumbled because I choose the jumbled answer option and question option. Now tick what is correct and relevance. So suppose I am ticking these three and I'm writing here mouse, correct answer, define hardware. So I'm just writing anything here. And if I say send me a copy of my response, I will get a copy of my response as a student, and then I click on submit. Now when I'm submitting it here, it says your response has been recorded. So my response has been recorded. Now my teacher will check it and then I will get the result. Now there was this, I see a response here, it has come to me. So this is one response. My software is giving my score as 4 out of 6 because there was a 2-mark question, which as a teacher, I was to review and give marks. So this is marks is given. This response is under review. I can then check it manually. Now how to check it manually? So it says that if you see individual questions, so this is my individual question paper. Now if I go here and this question, I don't want to give marks. So I give it here 0. And then I click on release score. If I click on release score, child on his email ID will get his final score. So please release the scores after reviewing. You can review what marking software computer has done. 1-on-1, fine. Computer has done 3-on-3, fine. अब सपोज यहाँ बच्चे ने माउस की बजाय लिखा होता डिवाइस माउस, सॉफ्टवेयर ने उसको गलत कर दिया होता, बट आप उसको मार्क देना चाहते थे, so you could have done it 1 mark here. So this is 1 mark, and then this is 0 out of 2. Now final mark is done. I can click on send. So the moment I can click on, I will click on send. The child will get his response on the email that your teacher has reviewed the paper and this is your final score. So this is about reviewing is very important and it helps for a teacher to correct feedback. Now, ma'am, you were asking about
Then how can I set the time for the question?
Jaya ma'am, you had I think the question. Please keep your
How can I
1 second. You can't hear you. Yes, tell me.
So 2 questions I think I have to address. One is how to add image-based question. That's what somebody asked. So I'm going to show that. Any other thing, ma'am, you were asking about?
Yes, one is any option of setting timer in Google Forms and how can we set time for question paper. So for both the things on exam.net and on Google Forms, can we set timer and how?
So ma'am, for an exam.net, I had shown you there was a window of setting timer for the students. So if I would, there was a set in the surveillance window, there was a set timer option. I can set it. It will be displayed on student screen, how much time is left on my screen also. And after that, exam will not stop automatically. I have to click on force submission button over there. And here,
So
I have
by Miss Manju. If Miss Manju, if you have understood, please acknowledge in the chat box. Yes, Sonia ji, please continue.
Okay, so I'm just checking this option of timings here. So for example, in Google Form, just 1 minute.
Sonia, I don't think so. Google Forms has that option.
Ma'am, Manjeet here. Ma'am, you can get that option when you assign it in the classroom.
Yeah, that is there. That is there. But in Microsoft Forms, we have options both sides. Here, I am unable to see because in Microsoft Forms, you have the start time and expiry date of the form. In Google, if you assign it as an assignment in Google Classroom, you definitely have start time of the assignment and finish time of the assignment.
Yeah, sure.
That is good. I think it is not here. We are not getting it in the options here. Now coming back to image questions, if we see, you can attach an image in the question and answer both. That option is there. So if suppose I am now showing you a blank quiz, suppose I take, and here I'll show you how to add an image. So I can put my question paper description and all. Now, if you see, there is this icon related to image. Can you see this? Icon relate next to the question. So I can, browse or, search. I can upload. I can use Google image search. For example, I want children to identify scanner. So let's say I'm putting scanner here image, and I want this image to go in the paper. So I select this image, and this has come up over here, and I can say identify the device. So this image has come over here. Then I can give multiple answers. So this is about how teachers can give the image. Teachers can even give a video, watch the video and answer the questions. You can give a web link also. Now, another thing which I want to tell you is if you want child to upload an image. So if you want child to upload an image, I am going to second question. So for example, I write here, draw the diagram of brain and upload the image, something like that. So I say draw whatever I want to say draw respiratory system, and now I want child to upload the image. So
I'm sorry, but the screen is not visible.
Just a minute. Are you not able to see my screen?
Ma'am, we are able to see only a few of 3 of them are not.
Ma'am, from so long. So what you can do, ma'am, to see Sonia ma'am's screen, under the People's tab, you will see a list of names of all the participants. You'll have to go to Ishmeet Wadhwa, and Ishmeet Wadhwa, there'll be 2 names showing up. So one is Ishmeet Wadhwa presentation. When you tap on it, you'll get a pin option, which will
you have to pin that
in the presentation mode.
And for any reason, if you are still not able to see, we will share the recording with you. It's available on the school's YouTube channel. It will be made available. Plus, we will be emailing you if you are all noting down your email details in the chat box. Ma'am, there are 2 more questions as of now.
This is just one question.
Thank you, sir, for helping.
If the children can upload the answers in image, so you have this option file upload. So respondent will upload a file in response to a question. So you have this question style as upload image. Yes, ma'am. Jaya ma'am, what is the next question?
Yes, it's asking you to show the use of drop down in Google Forms.
Okay, I'll do that. Say for example, generally it is used for administrative purpose more. For example, if you want child to select the class or the section, then it is used. But for answers also, for example, I say records in a table are called, and I want them to select from the drop down box. So I want to have a drop down option here, and then I have to give my options. So suppose I say rows, and then I say columns, and then I have an option none of these. So then if I want to preview this question, this is done, and after it is done, correct answer key is this is my correct answer key, let's say. So I select this, I go to answer key, and I say 1 point, and I select this as my correct answer, done. And now when I preview this particular form through the preview tab, and then I see that this is here coming in this form. Is this okay, ma'am? Any other confusion here? So this is how you would select your correct answer from the drop down. Any other question to be addressed?
Yes, ma'am, I have a question.
There is a request by Ms. Saida if you would be able to conduct an exclusive session for her school.
This is which school, ma'am? For exam.net?
It's VIP International School, I believe. And she's asking for the same. Yes, exam.net.
Yes, ma'am, please, I'm writing my email ID in the chat window. When do you want it, and what is your requirement with the dates and all you write? If it is on any working day when I have school, then it may be difficult. And I'm already booked 2-3 sessions with the Department of Electronics, Delhi. And let's see if the timing suits, then I will be happy to do it.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Ma'am, just you showed that we can insert a picture, but in CIE, like IGCSE or A level, the pictures have to be labeled. Sometimes we have to insert in MCQ, suppose a table says ABC options, the table itself. So is there an option of inserting in Google Forms?
Ma'am, you have to keep your image ready. Image you can insert, but as you said, image has to be labeled. So if the teacher is giving labeling point, or if the child is putting a labeled image, they have to use another third-party software. Now, if you see on my screen, I'm opening PowerPoint. So let's say as a teacher, if I'm preparing a question paper with some labeled images, I go to insert picture. So I am doing insert picture and I am searching online picture. So let's say I search the image of, let's say I'm writing the diagram of brain. So I get the picture of brain from Creative Commons. So suppose this is the image where I want to give some labeling points to the students.
Right.
So I select my image and after that I click on insert. Now I am in PowerPoint. So I'm just making my image ready for the exam paper by putting some labeling points. So once the picture will come, yourself in mute. So now suppose this particular image has come. Now I go to insert shapes. So I go to insert shapes and here I take this text box here, A, and then I put my pointer. So this is already having 1, 2, 3. Suppose I want to have here 4th point. So I put my cursor here and I type here 4th point, or I want A to be labeled or B to be labeled. So I make my image ready either by taking it in Paintbrush or PowerPoint, and I use insert text box option and I put my labeling point. Suppose this is again a labeling point and I type here and put my labeling point at this place. And then I can write in the question instruction, label points number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, once this picture, which I have, put my labeling point after taking it from the internet, I can take a screenshot. So the shortcut is Windows Shift and S, or you can print screen key on your keyboard. You take an image, and then once this image goes to your clipboard, you save it as exam image. So this is with my exam, all the points which I have saved, it has come to my clipboard and I click on save and I save this image. So let's say brain image, I have saved it as for my test paper. Now I go to Google Form and I upload this image and ask the children to write answer for labeling points, or on exam.net, I have to upload this image now, which I have made myself ready by taking an image from exam.net, from Google, and then putting the labeling point with the help of either PowerPoint software or Paintbrush software.
Okay, understood. That means we have to keep our image ready and then upload.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. And one more question, ma'am. As you said that in Google Docs, there's a blank form. Google Forms, there's a blank form. Is it possible that I have my questions ready? I can just copy paste and keep my answer key ready along with it?
Ma'am, that will not be, means I didn't get your question. You're saying you have your questions typed in Word and you want
in Word. Yeah, I want to use that in Google Forms.
So ma'am, you have to copy paste individual question. It is not possible that you press Control A in Google Docs and you come here and you paste everything together. One question you copy and paste. So you create a question here, copy paste. You create a question here, copy paste. That is doable.
I was thinking about the blank form you said initially. Right now you use the template.
Yeah. So no, in blank form also I have to add question by question. So this is first untitled question. I paste my first question. I go to plus. I add my second question. I can add all the questions together.
Understood. So each question I have to do individually.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question?
How we will mark the right answer from that options in MCQ?
So ma'am, once you have set up this paper, say for example, this is blank quiz that I have opened. I am now giving it a name demo. and then I come here and I write a defined question. So I change it, means MCQ will be checked on its own, but I have a short answer type question. So in the short answer type question, I am writing, let's say, define. I'm giving one definition to the student. So I'm writing define inheritance, right? And let's say I'm adding second question, 2 questions which are defining question, but grade 6, I don't want to scare them by taking them to exam.net or grade 5. I want to do testing through forms only, but I want sub MCQ nahi hona chahiye. There should be some opportunity for them to type and write. So I'm giving them little definitions. So मैंने ये पहला question भी short answer लिया है, and I am not uploading the answer key, but it is still a 2-mark question. So I've given it a 2-point question. The answer key because I want to check it myself. Now I'm adding 2 questions. So I've given second question as define, let's say, polymorphism. So these are 2 defined questions, each of 2 marks. This is paragraph type nahi hai. This is short answer. Paragraph will allow you to write more than 6,000 characters, and short answer will allow you to write 255 characters. So you can take a call whether you want paragraph or short answer. Don't give the answer key, just specify the points. Now you are done with your short answer type questions. Go to settings. When you are doing the settings, limit to 1 response, collect email addresses, and then you say, come to presentation part, shuffle question order, yes, show progress bar, yes. After that, you come to quizzes. It says, immediately after the submission release marks, no, later after manual review. Keep this ready. Children should see missed question, correct question. ये सब आप हटा दीजिए. Unnecessarily, it creates confusion with younger children. Just say later after manual review. And then you click on save. And then you send the question to them, paper to them. Once you click on responses, so suppose I am doing this question for you as a sample. So I give my email ID. Now I'm writing here my correct answer, whatever I'm typing as a student. And I'm typing in this also. So once I've submitted the paper as a student, then my teacher will get to see on her screen response. So she goes to response, she goes to individual copy. Now she's able to review my answer. Now software has given it wrong because there was no answer key specified. But I feel this is partially correct 1 marks. This is fully correct 2 marks. Once I do this, and I can say release score. So the child will get, अब ये स्कोर कहाँ जाएगा? उसी ईमेल आईडी पर जिस पर बच्चे ने रजिस्टर किया था. I can put an optional message, well done, or whatever, based on the score. You need to work hard, and I can then send it to. I don't want a copy of this child's result to everybody, so I have to remove this all respondent. Just click the email ID of this student. So just 1 minute. So it will only go to Sonia because I have selected this. That option is there. Send email and release. So this goes to Sonia, and she comes to know her score in this paper, which is 3 out of 4. Is this okay, ma'am? So it's very important that you go to individual sheet and review the scores and then release it to the students. No matter how much perfect answer keys we make, students come up with their own ideas. Chote bachche, they add one word extra in the correct answer, and then software gives it all wrong. So don't release the score by reviewing unless you review it manually. Any other question to be addressed?
Ma'am.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, if we use in the response sheet, if we use the collect email ID, it helps. Otherwise, when we give them option of typing their email ID, many times it happens that people do type wrong. They do spelling mistake even while typing. Typing error happens.
Excellent suggestion, sir. Excellent suggestion. Instead of asking them to type, it's better to collect email IDs.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, please.
While reviewing the answers, can we review it all and later release the scores like that? Can we do it?
Yes, ma'am. So
how do we save each review? Like
that's what I'm going to show you, ma'am. So this is, for example, I just show you this particular form. So for example, I go here
Hello. Sonia ma'am, there is one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can the child draw diagrams, then scan and upload on Google Forms?
Yes, ma'am. I had shown that option. There is an option, question type, upload responses, upload a file. You can choose that. So, ma'am, I am sharing this link with you. So, if you click on send form option, and there is this URL, I'm copying it and I'm putting it in chat window. I just want 1 or 2 people to write few things so that I can show you how multiple copies can be reviewed together. So I've given the form link in the chat window. If one of you two just write one word in the demo form, and I will show you how you can review multiple scripts. So I've got 3 responses now here on the screen, rather 4. Now, ma'am, your question was how to check multiple copies together. So I'm on individual tab here. So this is first copy where I've given the marks. Here I have a progress bar. I go to second copy, 2 of 6. I check second person's copy, let's say 0, 0. And I check then third person's copy. So I have checked, let's say this is, I have check 2 copies. So from here, I keep moving from one child to another. So I keep checking. Okay, just 1 minute. Once I have done correction in 1 copy, I have to click on save. Then I go to third copy. I do correction in the third copy. Let's say here 1 mark, here 1 mark, and then I click on save. Once I've checked all the copies, then I go to release a score option. And in the release a score option, I select the all respondent or सबको एक साथ I can release the scores.
Okay, thank you. Clear, ma'am.
Are there many participants who have unmuted themselves? Kindly mute yourselves. Miss Bibi, Mr. Narayan.
Any further query?
No, ma'am. As far as I can see, you have answered every question.
I think Sonia ma'am has been very patient and very awesome teacher today for all the teachers and a wonderful session today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for these kind words.
Sonia ji, this is really a gift for all the teachers. You're very kind, very patient, a lot to learn from you. And I would like the participants to know that next Saturday, again, Sonia ma'am would be conducting a session on Google Classroom. So please join us. And those who have shared their email IDs and those who have registered earlier for this, you will get a recording of this session. We hope to see you in all our further STEAM talks. We are calling all these talks as STEAM talks, as the T stands for technology, and we are trying to bring in technology and make it easier for all the educators in these digital era.
And we would like to request everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So there are a lot of activities that we are doing. So Aadharshila STEAM Talks, Aadharshila Career Talks, and the main Aadharshila Talks. So you'll be able to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon so that you could get alerts whenever new videos are uploaded.
So sir, just paste the link again because many participants joined later. You will find the YouTube channel for Ramratna International School official. There you can get access to all the talks that we have been organizing. Sonia ji, this has been wonderful. And before you wrap up, I would just request Shaila ma'am to be prepared for proposing the vote of thanks.
Ma'am, I just have a request. If you really feel that you are benefited out of these sessions, my only just one request is share your feedback on Twitter and tag me. My handle is @SoniaVadva26. It's just that this gives you a little motivation to keep going. So that is only one thing I want. If you feel that any tool was good for you and it has some good takeaways for you, please give feedback on Twitter and tag me.
Yes, ma'am, we'll all do that for sure. And I would request if you could just type your Twitter handle here itself for everybody's reference as well. And we are extremely, extremely grateful to you. This is on behalf of Ramratna International School and all the participants. You are an amazing teacher and may God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Principal Ma'am. Thank you, Sonia Ma'am. We can see that the chat box was flooded with thank you messages, and all the participants have appreciated the session as a very informative one, as an enriching one. So thank you, Sonia Ma'am. Thank you so much. Now I would formally like to thank you on behalf of RRIS. I express my gratitude and thanks to you for conducting this beautiful session. And I'm sure all the apprehensions, the doubts, the queries that we had in our minds, they're all gone now, and we all are ready for a wonderful assessment. We all are ready. We have a tool with us. We are empowered with knowledge. Thanks to you, Sonia Ma'am. I would also like to thank Principal Ma'am for inviting Sonia Ma'am and helping all the educators, all the teachers. There are many educators who have joined from different schools across the country. I would like to thank all the participants also. I would like to thank you, Amit sir, for handling the technical part, and Dilip sir. So the entire IT team, I would like to thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sonia ma'am. Once again, the special thanks goes to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta Miss.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.